Welcome to Wild World, where we explore nature's most brutal laws. At midday, the ground of Ruaha scorches under 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Blinding sunlight blazes across the vast savanna, and haze rises with every gust of suffocating wind. Across the entire parched landscape, only a single pool of murky water remains, and that water hole has become a magnet for the desperate gaze of every creature in the region. A lone hippo lies motionless on the water's surface, exposing only its eyes and its enormous nostrils. Its thick skin secretes a natural red-tinted mucus that acts as sunscreen against the ultraviolet glare. This is the highest tier of the water hole's hierarchy. The central position belongs exclusively to this 4,000-pound beast. But the stillness of the water conceals deadly traps. Along the muddy bank, a Nile crocodile basks. In silence, its rough, textured scales making it nearly indistinguishable from a rotting log. The crocodile can hold its breath for over an hour by slowing its heart rate, and with its eyes and nostrils set atop its skull, it can watch the water's edge without ever being seen. It is building a lethal ambush station. On the outermost perimeter, a pride of lionesses waits with desperate patience. The lions of Ruaha run unusually large, an adaptation that helps them bring down oversized prey, and their sand-colored coats blend perfectly into the barren terrain. Yet even these fearsome killers won't risk stepping down to the water's edge to challenge the crocodile and the hippo. It is the great paradox of the water hole. The rulers of the mud outrank even the lions, whose low growls go unanswered. Tanzania's dry season has now stretched into its 7th month. Evaporation has driven up the mineral concentration in what water remains, and with each passing day the circle of life and death around the pool tightens further. Eventually, thirst forces the herbivores into the killing zone. The old bull. The pounding of hooves announces a herd of Cape buffalo advancing toward the water under the open sun. Each adult weighs nearly 2,000 pounds, and their horns are a devastating weapon, capable of tearing skin and crushing ribs. To counter the bite of apex predators, buffalo have evolved skin up to 2 inches thick around the neck and shoulders, nearly impenetrable to claws and fangs. Together, the herd forms a fortress that makes a direct assault suicidal for any predator. But one old bull, wounded in the hind leg, is falling behind. He drags each step through the dust, and the scent of damp mud dulls his instinct for caution. Thirst pulls him directly toward the crocodile's ambush point. As he lowers his head to drink, he exposes the vulnerable underside of his throat and loses his ground-level field of view. The lionesses, patient tacticians who provide for the pride through coordinated hunting, have been shadowing the herd, watching for exactly this kind of weakness. They stalk forward on their bellies without a sound, fanning into a wide arc that seals off every escape route. The mud at the water's edge, already treacherous, becomes a death trap for a bull whose legs are already failing him. The attack, when it comes, is sudden and total. The lionesses explode from cover, claws locking onto the bull's flanks, and his crippled legs buckle beneath the weight of the assault. There is no miracle waiting for him. His resistance ends in the mud. The scavengers arrive. Within minutes, white-backed vultures begin circling, birds that can spot a carcass from 4 miles away and track other scavengers through the sky to build an aerial network of information. Their arrival signals a feast to every hunter within sight. But vultures are not the most aggressive. Scavengers on the savanna. A pack of spotted hyenas soon emerges, drawn by the commotion. With a bite force approaching 1,100 psi, the strongest jaw pressure of any land carnivore in Africa, and a stomach acidic, enough to dissolve bone, pH as low as 1.5. Hyenas can crush and digest even a buffalo's femur. The pack surrounds the lionesses, calling constantly to apply psychological pressure, and the lionesses, wary of a bite wound that could prove fatal in the dry season, choose to yield rather than risk a prolonged fight. The hyenas tear into what remains, and the vultures finish what the hyenas leave behind. At the muddy edge of the water hole, the food chain completes its cycle with ruthless efficiency. The kudu that got away. Not every hunt at Ruaha ends in death. African wild dogs, among the most successful hunters on the continent, once cornered a lone kudu that plunged into the water hole as a last resort. Wild dogs have little appetite for water themselves, and after circling the bank for a while, they abandoned the chase. The kudu swam ashore and slipped back into the bush, a rare reprieve. The giraffes, robbed of their kill by the hyenas, the lionesses turned their attention to a herd of giraffes forced toward the water's edge by the heat. Standing 18 feet tall, with a commanding field of view, giraffes can spot danger from a distance. But drinking requires them to splay their front legs and lower their long necks, a maneuver made possible only by a specialized network of blood vessels at the base of the skull that prevents a dangerous rush of blood. In that position, a giraffe has no ability to defend itself or flee. The lionesses strike the instant a giraffe is off balance, leaping onto its hindquarters and using their combined weight to bring it down. Despite its size and strength, the giraffe cannot overcome the pride, and it collapses in a cloud of dust. Water scarcity has once again forced the herd to expose its fatal weakness. Smaller battles. Away from the water hole, smaller dramas play out just as fiercely. A serval, a slender cat, with the longest legs relative to body size of any cat, weighing only around 40 pounds, pinpoints a mouse using its oversized ears. When the distance closes to under 10 feet, it explodes from cover, leaping up to 9 feet into the air and adjusting its trajectory mid-flight to track the prey's zigzag escape. A precise pounce and a swift bite in the hunt. Elsewhere, a leopard, camouflaged by its rosette-patterned coat, ambushes an unsuspecting impala with a burst of speed too fast to allow a single cry. To keep the kill from hyenas, the leopard drags the carcass up into a tree, safely out of reach. A female African ostrich, meanwhile, stands her ground in the open heat rather than seeking shade. At up to 8 feet tall and 200+ pounds, she is the largest living bird, and her gray-brown plumage insulates her body, while shading a clutch of eggs beneath her spread wings. Ostriches rarely need to drink, drawing moisture instead from roots and dried seeds. And a single kick from their powerful legs can be lethal to an approaching hyena. High above, a martial eagle with a 6-foot wingspan spends up to 9 hours a day soaring in search of prey. Spotting an exhausted hare below, it dives and carries the kill off to a barren branch to feed in peace. Along a dried-out swamp bed, a gray-crowned crane forages by stomping the hardened earth to flush insects into the air, spearing them with a lightning-fast strike of its beak. The drought at Ruaha shows no sign of ending, but as the harshness of the land makes clear, water belongs to no single creature by force alone. It belongs, in the end, to whoever can endure.